Is the first chip implanted into the human brain that directly links the human brain with the hard drive of a physical computer without a wire, without a cable. We have the biology that allows us to do already, we have this, what those chips are allowing us to do. When we learn to access these mirror neurons in a very specific way, we have super learning. I do this personally. I mean, we can learn very, very quickly. We are at this pivotal crossroad where we are developing and evolving our technology so quickly. We have to make a choice as a society. How much of our power will we give away to the machines? How much of it sounds like a science fiction movie? Where do those movies come from? This is consciousness in those movies asking us to explore how much of ourselves do we want to give away. And here's a perfect example, Elon Musk. Elon Musk has developed a new company called Neuralink. And his philosophy is not, and I'm not slighting him for this, because this is the way society learns, this is the way science learns, by pushing the boundaries. And Elon Musk is a brilliant man, he's pushing those boundaries. And I think he'll push them until he has pushed back from society. Neuralink is the first chip implanted into the human brain that directly links the human brain with the hard drive of a physical computer without a wire, without a cable. So it's like Bluetooth technology. It's beyond Bluetooth, but you can think of it that way. Right. So what he's saying is, if you can't beat the machines, join them. He said, let's interface, let's become one.
Neuralink, which would allow data to be transmitted between humans and computers. Here's how it works. An array of tiny threads, only a tenth as big as a human hair, embedded with thousands of electrodes, is inserted into the brain by a robotic device. The threads are connected to a chip that transmits back and forth to an external receiver.
The interface to the chip is wireless. So you have no wires poking out of your head. Very, very important. So it's basically Bluetooths to your phone.
Musk says Neuralink may help the human brain cure diseases and even reverse paralysis. Eventually, it could be used to connect with external devices.
I had just finished my freshman year of college. I was out in the ocean and I dove out and into a wave, something that I'd done many times before. I dove into a sandbar that had drifted in, which fractured my spine and damaged my spinal cord, and that left me as a C5 quadriplegic. I kept asking the doctors, what can I look forward to in the future? One of my doctors said, hey, we want to try this muscle stimulation device. It really sounds like it's something out of a science fiction novel, reconnecting my mind to my body.
Spinal trauma is one of the toughest problems in medicine. There's currently no biological way of healing severe damage to the spinal cord. Recently, scientists have started developing a workaround, creating an artificial link between the brain and the body.
We have the ability to do right now through what are called mirror neurons. Interestingly, mirror neurons are a specialized class of neurons in the human brain that don't know the difference between watching an experience and having the experience. So when we already know this, for example, this is why you can lie on your couch on a Sunday afternoon watching a soccer game or a golf tournament or whatever. You're lying down, but you're watching this and your heart's racing, your muscles are tense, you might be perspiring, you might be, breathing heavy, but you're just lying there. I mean, if you think about that, it makes no sense. Your mirror neurons think you're the one on the field.
Right, which is why we watch.
It is. And these are very powerful neurons, and they're also powerful in addiction. This is why pornography, for example, is so powerful. It's so addicting, because when someone witnesses those images with the mirror neurons, it triggers the oxytocin and the same dopamine, the same very addictive chemistry, because the brain doesn't know the difference between watching and having the experience. So these are the bad things that we hear. The good things that we don't often hear is because the brain doesn't know the difference. When we learn to access these mirror neurons in a very specific way, we have super learning, Brian. We can learn. So I do this personally. I mean, we can learn very, very quickly. We can learn music. You can learn to perform the way another musician is performing. You can learn a foreign language very quickly. You can not only retain, but recall information. Very super learning, super memory, super retention, super recall from the mirror neurons. And here's the kicker. Those mirror neurons in the human brain are in the 6th layer of the neurocortex that is made possible through a mysterious DNA fusion that happened 200,000 years ago. When we showed up, who or whatever is responsible for our existence, whatever's the source of the intervention that appears to have happened, made those neurons possible. And it gives us the ability, if we choose to access this potential, to learn and experience very, very quickly. We don't need to be physically connected to a computer. But this is an example of where, if we don't know that, and we go down this road, I mean, it won't stop there. We end up giving our power away to a device. And you've heard the old axiom, if use it or lose it. And we run, I think, the risk of becoming a species where we begin to lose this tremendous, beautiful potential.
And we are losing parts of that already, because we're no longer kind of learning the same way and pushing our brains to learn languages. It's all there on Google Translate.
Ask the young people today to solve a mathematic problem without the use of a phone or a calculator.
The city of Lund in southern Sweden dates back to medieval times. Over the centuries, it's witnessed plenty of change, but now there's a whole new sort of evolution going on. I'm here to meet some of the thousands of people in the country who are adapting their own bodies, who are inserting microchips under their skin. It means they may never have to carry a house key, train ticket, or bank card ever again.
I'm excited to see what I'll be able to do now.
Can I touch it?
Yeah, you can feel it there. I feel like this is the future. It's the next big thing that's gonna happen. Happy cyborg birthday.
Happy cyborg birthday to you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I felt a little bit strange because now I'm a cyborg and it feels pretty cool.
The chips in their hands use near-field communication, the same technology that allows you to pay with a contactless credit card. They can be read by a device like a smartphone.
So here I've stored my business card on my phone with my details, phone number, email address, other stuff, blood group even.
So what's the benefit of that?
When I get customers or suppliers at work, they ask for my business card and I say, scan me.
Aren't there risks involved in that as well? Couldn't somebody pass you by and take all that information?
Yes, it is in theory possible, but you have to be really, really close. But the main thing I think is that I choose myself what I want to store on this chip.
Kind of learning the same way and pushing our brains to learn languages. It's all there on Google Translate.
Ask the young people today to solve a mathematic problem without the use of a phone or a calculator. Now, I come from a generation, and this has all happened in one generation. When I was in school back in the 1950s, 60s, early 70s, engineers were putting the first man on the moon using a slide rule. Now, some of our viewers don't even know what a slide rule is, but it is the precursor it has no electricity. It is a gadget that looked like a ruler that had a slide that you could use to move and correlate certain numbers. And this is the way engineering happened in World War II, the atomic bomb. This is how we solved our problems. And young people now, if they don't have either a calculator, which is almost obsolete, the physical calculator, they're all on the phones now, or they don't have a phone, they cannot solve the problems.
After losing his sight in a car accident, Jason Esterhazen never dreamed he'd see light or movement again. But with the flick of a switch,
wow,
his world suddenly grew brighter.
I still can't put it into words. I mean, from being able to see absolutely nothing, it's pitch black, to all of a sudden seeing little flickers of light move around.
While it's not normal sight, a groundbreaking device implanted in Jason's brain at UCLA Health allows him to navigate the world around him.
Being able to tell where a doorway is, being able to tell where the sidewalk begins or ends, or where the crosswalk is, are all extremely meaningful events that can help these people regain some form of independence.
Dr. Nader Poradian implanted the device made by Second Sight over the visual cortex in Jason's brain. The Orion device converts images from a tiny video camera on a pair of sunglasses into a series of electrical pulses. Those pulses stimulate electrodes in Jason's brain that let him see patterns of light that act as visual cues.
We basically have the video camera and the video processing unit functioning or performing the functions of what the eye normally does, and we go directly back to the brain.
By moving his head, Jason can distinguish light areas and objects from dark.
Little white dots on a black background. It's like looking up at the stars at night.
Only the world's second person to receive the device, Jason is helping the technology to grow more useful as he learns what each flicker of light represents.
It's someone moving across the room, walking past me or walking away from me, or it's a light against the wall. It was just amazing to have some form of functional vision again.
Now he can perform everyday tasks he couldn't before, like sort laundry and safely cross the street. And with a little practice,
I'm closing the camera to show you that I'm not cheating.
Jason continues to expand what he can do.
The most cutting-edge thing about Hannes Huerblad isn't the phone in his hand. It's the microchip actually in his hand. The tiny implant is the latest advance in a biohacking technology that is steadily becoming a part of normal life in Sweden.
We have created a new implant, which is not a chip, it's a full device where you can add different lights, different vibration, different functions.
I think it's really cool. You don't have to carry any keys or anything. It's just your body. In maybe 10 years, everything will be in your hand.
That they use in their daily lives, waving their hand to gain entrance to the gym, confirm their ID or make payments. A short moment of pain not putting them off becoming part Swede, part machine. Plants. Student Hannah Herving is also freshly chipped and now just needs to program it to open doors. Although importantly for a future career, it does already connect to her LinkedIn.
If a machine can tell me when I'm creating the conditions in my body to access this potential, then that machine is very useful. Once I understand that, I can toss the machine away. I don't need the gadget because now I know who I am. If I feel like I need the machine, take me to this place every time. So I have a bad day or I'm a little stressed, I say, oh, I got to hook up to my machine, my PC and run this app to tell me when I'm in the right brain state or whatever, the right heart state or whatever it is. And I think that's where we run the risk, and we have to be conscious. We have to be conscious and cautious as we do this. I'm tripping on a little bit because I wanted to go back. I'm not slighting Elon Musk. He is of a different generation than we are. He's an entrepreneur. He's done amazing things. He sees potential, and he says, let's explore this potential. And so he probably is accelerating the evolution, wherever that evolution is going to go. We have to make a choice now, where we didn't have to make it 5 years ago. Now we have to choose, are we going to follow this path? Now I have to tell you, Brian, audiences all over the world, when I share this story, and I've got a presentation that goes with it, and before I even share my opinion, I can see people in the audience, and when they see the picture of the chip, I say, here's the chip, here's what it does, and people are out there, they're shaking their heads, and